Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Perfect World based on novel. So let's start. Senior. Shahao cried out. The ancient sacred courtyard has the heaven-mending technique, but seeing how you are most likely at odds against them, it isn't easy for me to pass it down to you either. Ghost Grandpa's figure became more and more indistinct. I'll gift this sword to you. It is held together from a divine mixture of phoenix beak and unicorn horn. Ghost Grandpa said. The black broken sword flew over, landing into Shahao's hands. He was quite familiar with the broken sword. This portion of the broken sword was damaged, and it was held together by a transparent plaster. And now, Ghost Grandpa said that it was held together by a mixture made of phoenix beak and unicorn horn, giving him quite a bit of shock. Those materials are definitely world-shaking. Ghost Grandpa, there will be a day when I will go into the higher realms. I will bring this broken sword into heavenly country to help you settle things. Shahao said. Higher realms, I've almost forgotten about that place. However, there should still be some people that still remember me. When speaking these words, Ghost Grandpa's eyes became extremely bright. However, in the end, his body still scattered away, forever disappearing from this world. Shahao felt disappointed and frustrated. A powerful individual had disappeared just like that, making him sigh with regret. However, he learned from Ghost Grandpa's final words that he definitely had an incomparably splendid past. Perhaps there were still a few places in the higher realms where his legend existed. Only, those who the heavens love die young. In the end, he still fell. I really never expected such a thing. The most dazzling human race figure of the ancient era, who forcefully pushed back the heavenly talents among his peers, actually ended up like this, a voice suddenly sounded. A figure appeared in the distant sky, walking over step by step in midair. An enormous black sun could be seen behind this individual, giving this figure a rather sinister appearance. Shahao's mind trembled inwardly. There was actually another deity that appeared. Yinyi truly is miserable, dying here because of a will. He definitely died with remaining grievances. This was a male. The large sun behind him was formed from a black sunflower. You saw him die, but you aren't even going to lend him a hand? Shahao asked. I came too late, and could only see the final scene from the distance, he. Moreover, if I came a bit closer, I would have been done for too, you know. This male laughed as he spoke, seeming to be taking joy in the misfortune of others. Yinyi was extremely cold-blooded. Who knows if there will be a day when he makes a move on his own people. Dying a bit earlier isn't too bad either. 5 of the 7 deities died. Now that there are only 2 left, aren't you worried at all? Shahao said coldly. Isn't it better for the 8 regions to only have a few deities? If we did find those natural opportunities, it would be easy to split them up as well. Who knows, maybe one day, I might be able to become an unsurpassed supreme being as well. The male spoke with a faint smile. After you killed my demonic sunflower garden's disciple, our clan lord specifically instructed me to personally kill you. It seems like I'll be able to carry out that promise, said this male. He stood on the black sunflower and looked down on Shahao. Shahao avoided those thick roots and quietly placed the little rebirth pill into his mouth. The black-clad male's face carried a cold smile. He reached out a large hand and directly slapped down. Shahao's entire body shone, becoming incomparably brilliant. A powerful aura of life surged within him. He broke into the supreme expert realm without any suspense, immediately becoming much more powerful. Did you come to deliver me sunflower seeds? He ridiculed. Every single pore on his body surged with spiritual essence. He turned into a human-shaped Kunpeng, and began to frantically use up this medicinal strength, defying the heavens as he rushed outwards. Even a glimmer of light dares to try and compete against the bright moon. Truly overestimating your capabilities. The male from demonic sunflower garden laughed coldly. With a wave of his sleeve, a vast and mighty hurricane swept outwards. He reached out and grabbed towards the Kunpeng. Shahao activated the imperishable golden clothes. Divine flames surged and endless radiance rushed into the heavens. This boundless wave of divine force immediately shattered that male's sleeves, causing his palm to be drenched with blood. The demonic sunflower garden male was immediately alarmed. The other party unexpectedly had the aura of a deity. This was too sudden. Shahao erupted to the peak of his power. This first attack had not ended yet. He turned into a human-formed Kuan Peng and rushed upwards. With wings behind him, he displayed the Kuan Peng technique. Endless symbols appeared and attacked outwards. Meanwhile, at his side, the broken sword, Stone Country's golden magical sword, Country protecting divine halberd and other weapons rushed up together to attack. Divine radiance erupted endlessly. Even though the demonic sunflower garden male reacted quickly and backed up, how could he be faster than the Kuan Peng technique? Now, equipped with the deity realm and imperishable golden body, it became even faster. The black-clad male screamed. In his surroundings, endless black sunflowers appeared. They grew frantically to block Shahao's attacks. Shahao's eyes shone. He grabbed one of the magical artifacts around him. This place became chaotic. All types of lights flew about in disorder. Kill! Shahao shouted loudly. His head of hair stood on end, and his pupils widened angrily. The great halberd in his hands hacked down ferociously. With the Kuan Peng's power, it erupted with the greatest offensive power. This male roared angrily. He had also become furious. Countless symbols appeared around him, and a great sun erupted behind his body. The demonic sunflower, he refined himself, appeared to block the divine halberd. Shahao shouted. A pair of Kuan Peng wings moved behind him. Endless energy erupted, and both yin and yang energies swirled, scattering the flames. Shahao sighed. The golden divine magical sword flew out. It turned into a streak of divine rainbow light, and pierced through that man's shoulder, causing blood to spill all over the deity's body. The black-clad male cried out loudly, revealing a look of anger. He was so powerful, yet he was wounded by this glimmer of light. A black sunflower appeared. It turned into a black heavenly sun and surrounded him. He was going to fight a decisive battle against Shahao. In addition, hundreds to over 1,000 streaks of black light flew towards Shahao, putting him in extreme danger. Shahao's eyes shone brilliantly. He was like a shadow following a body, not allowing him to break free from this place. The Kuan Peng technique was displayed to its limit. Those divine wings moved about, forming yin and yang energies. They both erupted with the most powerful offensive power. The black-clad male held a sunflower. That was his main body. Black symbols rippled outwards and quickly diffused. The leaves flying about in chaos continuously withered and sparks flew everywhere. He roared, displaying his great divine ability. His entire figure began to burn. He was going to fight to the death. Go die! Shahao shouted loudly. He pressed forward, both wings slamming together, merging yin and yang. There was actually some chaotic energy that scattered outwards. Power surged greatly. This was this technique's greatest offensive skill. This was precisely the Kuan Peng technique, a technique with unmatched offensive power. Even though Shahao wasn't a true deity, he still produced this terrifying result. You have to understand that a creature with their divine flame ignited would be completely different. They would possess power far exceeding that of the mortal realms. The king-level figures and supreme experts could only look up to them and offer their worship. It was also because of the large disparity in strength, the great gap between them, that earned them the title of deities. They were too difficult to defy. This was the difference between God and man. Even though Shahao was borrowing the power of the imperishable golden body to increase his strength, his understanding towards the natural law's profound mysteries and symbols was still quite lacking. Being able to produce this type of result was already extremely astonishing. The sun in the sky released a terrifying streak of divine light. The black-clad male seemed to have blended together with the heavenly sun. He walked over while riding on the raging flames, every inch of his flesh surging with divine flames. Go to hell. This was the taboo technique of the demonic sunflower garden, one that used oneself as the price. It connected to the heavenly sun, borrowing its powerful might to destroy its enemies. At this moment, Shahao's Kuan Peng technique displayed its greatest power. It turned into a streak of flowing light, and ferociously surrounded this male. Fiery light surged around this black-clad male. Raging flames blazed, and below, the mountain peaks were turned into ashes and directly burned into nothingness. As for the Great Lake, it quickly disappeared, completely drying up. This place flourished with brilliant radiance. This was a shocking great battle that shook all directions. It drew the attention of a few great powers. They were all incredibly shocked. Shahao is defying a deity. He returned alive. Rumor has it that he was being chased by 3 deities, yet he unexpectedly reappeared and started a battle against a demonic god. This battle was incredibly intense. Shahao used the most powerful methods from the very start, without using any normal techniques at all. He used everything he had to kill this deity. When the Kuan-Peng power was slightly exhausted, Shahao displayed his own most powerful technique, without any hesitation. The instant the distance between the two of them was closed, he used the reincarnation precious technique. His supreme being bone shone. Large amounts of symbols erupted, forming a sheet of scriptures that engraved itself in the void. It then formed a furnace that surrounded the black-clad male within. Shahao was extremely nervous. After all, he still hadn't ignited his divine flame, so his understanding of symbols and natural laws was far from being comparable to the other party. He feared that this bone's profound mysteries would lose effectiveness. The black-clad male screamed loudly. He was struck by the supreme being's symbols and wrapped within. His body quickly aged, and his flesh began to wither up. His vitality began to severely exhaust. Right now, the unmatched solar essence flame was harming even himself. His skin dried up, and his body had already half collapsed. His head of hair turned grey. It was just too horrible of a sight. Even at this moment, Shahao didn't stop. His body erupted with light, displaying the Swan Ni technique. He brought endless lightning with him and blasted at the skull that had been sliced apart. The primordial spirit inside had long been shaken loose. Shahao did everything he could to attack, continuously sending lightning downwards to eradicate this spirit and forever get rid of this potential future disaster. I am unwilling to accept this. I actually died under the hands of a little supreme expert. The black-clad male roared. He self-destructed. This world was brightly lit and resplendent with radiance, lighting up the entire mountain range. The mountain peaks were like paper as they melted away, disappearing from this place. How terrifying. A deity self-destructed. The little stone is too terrifying. He actually forced a deity to the end of his ropes, causing him to self-destruct. Everyone who saw this scene was astonished. They didn't dare believe what they were seeing. This was just too shocking. Shahao coughed out blood. He used the Kuan-Peng movement technique to quickly escape during the moment of imminent danger, but he was still caught up in the blast radius, and was almost blown apart into pieces. He weaved through the skies and backed up over 100 li. 4 hours later, Shahao stood up. Even a body as powerful as his almost broke apart, and he really did just barely survive. He turned into a stream of light, and then disappeared into the distance. The news seemed to have grown a pair of wings as it traveled throughout all parts of the world, stirring great shock and alarm wherever it went. The little stone unexpectedly slaughtered a deity, good. It truly helps us vent a bit of resentment. Those deities, for the sake of coming down into the lower realm, carried out a blood sacrifice in the flood region. Just how many people died miserably as a result? Shahao is only 15 years old, yet he actually killed a deity. This is a heaven-defying feat, one great enough to be recorded in the annals of history. This is too great. Little Stone is truly a good person, killing that hateful deity. Hearing this information truly makes me joyous. The entire world was clamoring in excitement. Everyone was smiling. There was no result better than this. Your parents have just left, said Chief Shi Yunfeng. Ever since Shahao decided to fight a decisive battle against a deity, Shiziling and his wife became filled with worry and uneasiness. This was caused by how he slaughtered a deity. The husband and wife were indescribably shaken. That day, the little stone's name was transmitted throughout the entire world. The little stone's name quickly resounded through the 8 regions, shaking the world under the sky. Everyone was in admiration. Shahao adjusted his breathing. He ate a few stalks of spiritual medicines and plucked a few leaves from the silver holy peach tree to treat his injuries. He then released a breath of relief. Deities really aren't that easy to kill after all. You cannot put yourself at risk anymore. Surviving is more important than anything. Dazhuang, Pihu, and the others urged. They all returned to the village as well. "Child, don't leave anymore. This truly makes us uneasy," a few elders said while tugging on Shahao's hand. When he looked at his childhood companions that had grown up and then looked at these seniors, Shahao felt extremely warm inside. He smiled and nodded, but he didn't truly make any promises. He brought out the bronze precious case and released Yu Chan's second body. He told Hairy Ball and Little Red that if he didn't return this time, then they should escort her out from Stone Village. Yu Chan was stunned. What was Shahao going to do? Soon after, she learned a few things from the village and became extremely shocked. He actually slaughtered a deity. This time, life and death was difficult to say. His actions seemed like funeral arrangements. "Are you truly going to go and fight?" Yu Chan asked. She was truly amazed. The little stone didn't kill her, and if he was defeated, he would finally leave her with a path of life. Her state of mind immediately became extremely complicated. Shahao didn't pay her any attention. He called over Qingfeng and told him about a few special places in the lower realm that might contain great natural opportunities. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.